Encounter is brought to you by the Broome County Council of Churches.
Welcome to Encounter. My name is Dave Alexander. I'm your host. Today, my guest is Reverend Nancy Hale. She's pastor of Broad Street United Methodist Church in Norwich. And we were talking a few minutes ago. Norwich is about an hour away from everything.
Yeah, just our closest mall is about an hour away, which makes it hard for those of us who like to shop.
Okay. It's basically 35 minutes away from Binghamton.
Yes.
On Route 12. And if you were to go up Route 12 and go into Norwich, it's the huge church with the huge steeple.
We have a steeple that's 190 feet tall. It's hard to miss, yes.
Okay. So can you tell us just a little bit about yourself, how long you've been at Norwich and maybe what you've done? And
Sure. I've been in Norwich for about 5 years now. I've been the pastor of Broad Street United Methodist Church for about a year and a half. Before that, I spent about 3.5 years as associate pastor. I've been in ministry for 15 years now as a United Methodist pastor, and I've served churches all over the central New York area. But now I'm in Norwich, and I like it there very much.
Okay. Now, I know Norwich has this very unique program called The Church Has Left the Building.
Yes.
And maybe you could explain to us, what do you mean by The Church Has Left the Building?
Well, about 2 years ago, our district superintendent in the Oneonta district of the Upper New York Conference challenged the churches of the district to have a day of mission, a special kind of a mission, a mission where the congregation actually goes outside the doors of the building and does mission in the community.
Okay.
And many of the churches in the district picked up on that challenge and spent a day doing mission. And we decided to also do a day of mission and to call it The Church Has Left the Building. And we took it back to our congregation and started talking about it, and they were a little hesitant at first because they weren't sure what it was going to look like to go out into the community and do mission. We've never really done that before. But that first day on May 15th of 2011, we had 90 people show up for worship and then go out and do all kinds of mission projects throughout the community. We had t-shirts made up for everyone. And since then, it has become an event that we celebrate twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. And the people really look forward to it.
Okay, now, I guess I'll ask this question. You have a lot of probably, I'll say, traditional people in your church that I'm quite sure was very difficult for them to say, okay, Sunday is supposed to be the day of rest. We go to church. You know, it used to be you didn't go shopping or anything else because everything was closed. But to say, okay, now we're going out and doing work in the community, it had to be quite a learning experience and kind of a change in how mindset of the people that, you know, we are doing something different besides just worshiping. So
I think part of what helped people get used to the idea of going out on a Sunday morning to do this kind of work was the fact that we did it together as a community. We didn't send anybody out on their own to do something. We worked very hard to cultivate the idea that we are a community of faith and we are called to serve the community together. And because we went out in small groups, we had that built-in support. And most of the groups that we had, the work teams, were multi-generational. And most people had a very, very good time. We learned as we went along that we need to provide more opportunities for people who aren't capable of doing heavy work.
Okay.
And so the second year we added a couple of work projects designed for people who are shut-ins or who are physically incapable of going out and doing work. And now we are able to include almost everyone in the congregation, from very young children up to even our shut-ins are involved now.
Okay. You brought along some slides.
I got some slides to show you.
So I think if we could start, we'll kind of go through some of the slides and explain. The first one is basically, you have a big sign telling about what you're doing.
This was our first event on May 15, 2011. Part of what made it such a success was not only having the t-shirts for everyone so that we could feel the sense of community, but also to let the people of Norwich know what we were doing. And so we embarked on a rather large advertising campaign. We advertised with our sign out front The Evening Sun newspaper in Norwich wrote a very nice article about us, explaining what we were doing and why we were doing it. And we had flyers up so that the people would be looking for us on that day. We told people, look for the people in the red shirts. We'll be out all over the community. And this served us well, because in the other events that we had, people came to us and said, can we join you? We saw you out there last year, we'd like to join you. So we have been able to attract other people by letting the community know what we're doing.
Okay, so I guess from that, it's not just members of your church, you're opening it up, so anybody in the community who wants to be part of your program can.
Absolutely. In the last couple of times we did this, we've had people from other church communities or people with no church community come and join us at some of the work projects. Everybody gets a T-shirt. Everybody is made to feel like they are really a part of this program, whether they're a member of Broad Street or not.
Okay. Could we go to the next slide?
Part of our program that first time, well, for the first couple of times we've done this, was to start the day with a combined worship service. We normally have 2 worship services on Sunday, but on these days we combined the 2 congregations, and we had a very nice worship service in our fellowship hall. Everybody got their T-shirts, and that first day we had 90 people at worship. And our worship services on these days are designed to help us understand that we are being formed as a body of Christ whose entire purpose is to serve the community. And I think without the worship service, we would not have had that sense of going out to serve as a community of faith. So that was very successful.
Okay, the next slide.
The work projects ranged in everything from very heavy work like this. This is at a location called The Place. It's a children's and after-school center in Norwich. That is supported by many of our local churches and other organizations. And we have several church members that sit on the board of directors for the place. And so each time we want to do Churches Left the Building, we ask them, what do you need us to do? And it's everything from breaking up garbage to clearing brush to painting, all kinds of things. And this is the kind of work for people who really like the heavy hands-on work. And in the next slide, you'll see a bunch of people painting the fence around the place. Again, something for people who don't mind getting dirty. And boy, did they get dirty, but they had a lot of fun doing this. And in the next slide, we had people inside painting. And you'll notice this was one of our multi-generational activities. We had everything from a couple of young children helping to paint to a couple of older people, everything in between. We got an awful lot of work accomplished. The place supplied all the paint and the brushes and everything. We supplied the manpower.
Okay. Now explain to me what the place, what exactly is that?
It's a program. It was started, I believe, by the First Baptist Church in Norwich many, many years ago. They are housed in their own location. They have a building in Norwich, and they provide all kinds of after-school support programs for children. They also have a Saturday program. They provide everything from snacks to meals to help with homework. It's a safe place for kids to go.
Okay, good.
And then in the next slide, we had some outdoor activities too. There we go. We had a group of people on a very rainy day in May working outside the Guernsey Library, weeding the gardens and picking up, just doing that general spring cleaning. And we had a few teenagers out there, a few older people out there. And then the next slide, we had a group of people go to visit with the residents of the Shenango Valley Retirement Home in Norwich. And we had probably about 8 or 10 of our people go out there and play games with them and just visit with them, talk with them. And again, we had all different generations participate in this. If you'll go to the next slide, you'll see we even had a family with a young girl there, and the little girl had so much fun that day playing with the residents of the home. And then in the next slide, this was a very interesting project. We have quite a few people who like to sew and craft. And so we approached the woman who owns Sew Nice, which is a sewing and quilt shop in Norwich, and asked if she would be willing to open up her store on this Sunday morning. She's not usually open on Sundays, and let us go there and work on different projects. And we had, as you can see, a large crowd of people go up there and work. They were sewing dresses for Haiti.
Okay.
These are little dresses that we make. If you'll see in the next slide, you can see there on the table, there's some of the dresses. They're very simple little sundresses that are made out of basically scraps of material. And we made, probably about 30 of these dresses.
Okay.
And they were shipped down to Haiti for the little girls in Haiti to wear. In the next slide, you can see a better view of the dresses. And it's a very simple pattern, but the people who make them have a lot of fun because they can embellish them with lace and everything, and they really enjoy doing this. This has now become a project, an ongoing project for the people at Broad Street. We get together on a regular basis and sew these dresses for Haiti.
Okay, before we go to the next slide, you're doing this for Haiti, so you're part of the Haiti Partnership.
I am part of the Haiti Partnership.
And then
yes.
basically, and I know you have a couple of members who
We've
go.
had 4 different church members go on Haiti trips, on mission team trips over the last couple of years. And we have supported the Haiti Partnership at Broad Street quite generously over the years. And it's just a part of our worldwide connection now. And we realize that going outside our building to serve doesn't mean just serving the people in Norwich or Shenango County. It also means serving people around the world.
Now, I'll take this one step further. You're the webmaster for the Haiti Partnership?
I am the webmaster for the Haiti Partnership. It's HaitiPartnership.org. If you go there, you'll find all kinds of interesting information about the partnership, the history of the partnership, and about upcoming trips. We're always looking for new team members to go on trips.
Okay, well, it's nice. I mean, I know coming from a church in Endwell where we are very active in the program that a lot of other churches are also part of this whole connection. And I guess I'll throw out the fact that you really go one step further because your church has a van and you are one of the drivers that actually drives the people down to JFK early in the morning and picks them up 9 days later. So it's a lot, that is going on that you support the Haiti Partnership. And that just the driving alone is a big thing because there's a lot involved with that, especially if the weather's bad. So.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. Our Board of Trustees have come to understand that letting our van be used for that is a true mission project that we can support. And so we're very grateful that we have that opportunity to do that.
Okay, if we could go to the next slide.
The next slide, this is one of the opportunities that we added in the second year. We realized that there were people who, because of mobility issues and other problems, weren't able to go out to the work sites. So we created a work site inside the building. We didn't actually leave the building, but these people were writing cards and letters to all our shut-ins. There's about 30 shut-ins on the list, but also to people who we've lost track of over the years, members who have drifted away or people who have moved. I think all told they wrote about 60 or 70 cards, all handwritten, and mailed them out. And this has become a very popular project now. We do this once a year.
Okay.
And then this project was also, we didn't actually leave the building for this, but this was in our church kitchen. There is a weekly free meal run by St. Bart's Roman Catholic Church in Norwich. Every Tuesday they put on a free meal, and they always like to provide some kind of cookies